12th, 2025 meeting of the Hendricks County Redevelopment Commission to order. I see there's 4 of us present, so we do have a quorum for business today. First item will be the approval of the minutes from our July 23rd, 2025 meeting. Everybody's had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any corrections or additions? Seeing none, I will accept a motion for approval.
I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. Next item on our agenda is a presentation from Brad Butler about a proposed fire station project. Brad, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much.
We have a couple of handouts here. I believe one is a proposed budget and another is a map.
Yes. Do you have a copy of the screen, don't you? By chance? I didn't print one out. Yeah, Mr. One. Okay, thank you. Okay, so, good morning. Afternoon.
Do you need to sit down?
No,
You just
I'm
had
good.
an ear.
No, I'm good, no. No, that's why,
This is good therapy.
that's right, exactly. I'm 10 days post-knee replacement on my right knee, so, things have been kind of hectic this last couple of weeks. Of course, I met with the commissioners, I don't know, Denny, what was it, a month ago or so, and presented this whole thing with Ithaca. And of course, then it was passed back down for me to present this again to you guys, because we're trying to establish a way to get a station funded through the TIF or some type of infrastructure fund in Liberty Township. Because currently, right now, as you guys know, we were in the process of getting the station at Liberty Township, which was the Hazelwood Volunteer Firefighter Association. That building now belongs to the township. It's been transferred over to the township's name. I met with Ithaca. You guys approved 2 years ago to do a station feasibility study. They came in, that's what this first map is. They came in and did a station study of locations and things, and I think the county, we spent like $75,000, I think, on that deal of feasibility of where would be the best place if we were to build a station, and the whole 9 yards, kind of getting the footwork of what it would roughly cost. So what we've done is we came back, I met with FSG, and Ithaca. We met sometime the end of, well, about 2 days before my surgery, so it was around the end of October, before Halloween we met. And a few things have changed since then, which is fantastic for the township. As you guys know, Hendricks Regional Health was looking at buying property off of Bob Brenneman, which is what we call the Belleville Triangle, okay, which that's now a closed deal. 2 weeks ago, they closed on the property, so now HRH does own that 20 acres or so section. 15. There, is it 15?
15 acres.
Okay, yeah, on this center there, and it's been confirmed. I spoke to Shane Summers. Of course, he got in contact with me. He's from HRH around the 5th of November, and I need to set up a meeting with him. He wants to kind of get our ideas of what we're looking to do. They want to incorporate a fire station into that project. Now, what that looks like at this point, we're still up in the air. So what we did, since that happened, we've kind of re-switched gears about where we want to go with this. We originally were talking about putting a lot of money into Hazelwood, at least giving us a place to have a station that we could be staffed and everything. But now that this has moved forward to where it's at, we come back to the agreement that it's probably best that we go after a new station in the Belleville area, which puts it more centrally located. It will decrease the run times. It's a better location. This infrastructure will be there, and for long-term, as an investment, it would be worth more to do it that way than trying to put money too far out in the area where it's too far away from everything down in the south corners, okay? Now, not to say we would do anything with that station. That's the wide EMS, so you don't really have anybody to rely on to run EMS in New Winchester or Coatesville or Stylesville or Clayton, you know what I mean? Because it's the rural areas. You have 3 departments that run EMS, and that's really it. Unlike Putnam County has Putnam County Operation Life, they have Owen County has Owen County EMS, and they have little ambulances that are sitting in Coal City and one in Clay City, and they have little units out and about because that's 90% of the run load. So, and I know I've had multiple talks with Denny about the same thing, so.
What's the process to get a fire district? I have forgotten.
Well, from what I have done my research in the last year, Denny he may know more than I do, being a commissioner, Mr. Dawes here.
Denny's fine.
I love calling you commissioner, though.
I mean, it goes up before the voters, right?
That I don't know. My understanding is it can go straight from the
It'll
commissioners.
be a decision by the commissioners.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go
Yeah.
to the public.
It doesn't have to be.
No.
There are so many less steps in a fire district than a fire territory that's why the state's really pushing down the territories, because they don't want people to jump out into these fire territory things, because it's kind of goes right back to a duplication, in my opinion, of government, because you're separating taxes anyway. This puts it back into the county, where they become ultimately the overseers of the fire protection district. So like Monroe County, Bloomington, the city of Bloomington, everything around it is Monroe Township Fire Department, or Monroe District Fire Department. So Fruitdale, Bean Blossom, all those little burgs around there, they all joined into one district. So they're all ran by the county. And they're doing theirs in quads, which is what I would suggest to the county to do, which is even the better thing to do. Instead of having one big district, you have multiple quad districts.
And the district has a board that would be established, and they are the ones responsible then for the operation of the district.
Right. And they are appointed by the commissioners. So they're not elected, they're appointed by the commissioners to oversee just that side of.
And operation would also be financial.
Yeah.
And something that came up at your last township meeting, there's no plan for Plainfield to do anything in terms of a fire station
No,
and the Hankey development, right?
there is no
We're
plan.
not duplicating.
No,
From what I hear, Plainfield can't.
they can't. They have two stations they have to build before they build that one.
Yeah.
And right now, they're getting ready to break ground on Black Rock Road, which is the one to help to cover Decatur that they can't cover, or part of that area down around Canby. So that one will service the Canby area, because right now they're having issues, as you see in the news, over the last year, of not being able to cover their own runs down there with Louisville and Decatur. That station is to help. That's gonna be another station. Then they got slated to build another station on the north side of Plainfield to help cover the area that they've annexed up there. So I don't think there's any plans that I know of in the works at all. When I've had meetings with Plainfield, president and them, I've flat out asked them that, and they basically said, we're just gonna annex it, and there's nothing out there to protect right now, so.
So how is it taxed? A
What's that, the
district,
Hinkie?
fire district,
The fire district,
Property tax.
property tax.
property taxes?
Yeah, it's set up through the same, like, everybody in Liberty Township and Clayton, Hazelwood, Belleville, Carsburg, they all pay a fire tax, fire fund, and a cum fire tax to the township trustee.
Currently. they're-
Currently.
Correct.
So then the commissioners or the county would take that money also, so at that 10 cents, then just moves over to them, whoever's running it, you see what I'm saying? So, and then the commissioners can bring the tax rate up, or however they fund it, through their points.
Through a budget process.
Right.
And would have more budgets.
Yeah. So, any other questions?
What are you asking of us?
I just want to check for, what was it, I'll settle for, let's go 7.
I think he's
I
asking.
think our advisor said we couldn't, that check would bounce.
No, I think what we're trying to do here is just kind of lay the groundwork. I mean, I know for a fact that Bob Brennan is planning on farming the ground again next year, so I don't know. Hendricks isn't even on the table of even architecting the building yet, so we're many, many days down the road. This is just, I like to be ahead of it instead of behind it. So I don't want to be called at the last minute, hey, throw something on the table so we can throw this in the building. I want to be able to be at the ground front, say, okay, if you'll give me this little 4 acres right here, this is perfect for us. And that way we can incorporate it into the project. And again, save tax dollars by getting those infrastructure things taken care of before it even starts.
And I think the next step would be both your financial and legal team would have to kind of work with you and get a product that we can submit to everybody for approval. So, because we need Adam to double, I mentioned to him about the 39 is not annexed by Plainfield.
No,
You keep
39 and
telling
40
me.
are not.
So that expansion of the EDA, we believe in a 10-minute conversation is the best way to go. And the most looking out there in the future about what, I mean, this could be even a way that the Redevelopment Commission, if we expanded the EDA and you wanted to clean up the Belleville area, you could do some facade grants or some kind of grants to, and remember, that's not incorporated, so it's very valuable to the county, and it's a way that, the Redevelopment Commission could do some cleanup work, or if it wanted to, or if, so there's lots of possibilities, depending on how we do this.
And Greg, that's true. When the first House bill got shot down and Plainfield came back in at the 11th hour and got the Senate bill passed for the annexation of Belleville or the golf course, they took the 3940 corridor out of it. It's an island amongst itself. There's nothing attaching it to the Plainfield town limit. So everything around it is Liberty Township now. The first bill it was supposed to come up 40, 39 and south. That all got scratched out, and now it's just the Hinkie development. That's all they can annex. So it kind of leaves it out there as an island in its stream. But with the fire district, the thing I was going to say about this, now, like I said, again, I'm no attorney. This is what I've just researched and read and talked to some other districts. Apparently, if my understanding with the fire district, this is the difference between a territory and a district, is with a district, if we develop a district in Liberty, Plainfield can annex all of Liberty Township, but all the tax dollars in that district stays in the district, doesn't go to Plainfield. So they can't use it in their fire territory. So it doesn't make it as appealing to go in and annex a bunch of stuff if I'm not gonna get that 26 cents fire rate and 3 cents cume tax that I need for my station on Black Rock Road. So it doesn't make it appealing. That's why Monroe Township did it, that's why Monroe County did it, was to stop Bloomington from annexing into the township. Because they were using the money downtown Bloomington instead of out where it needed to be. So again, this is kind of a way, because if it's got a $1 million assessed AV township or district, then that district is its own entity, just like a school district. They can cross the line, but they can't steal from it, basically, so. That's my understanding.
Any other questions for Brad or Greg or Dennis? Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Brad.
You're welcome.
Sure will have-
Seriously, any other questions, feel free to call me anytime. You can call my office. Again, I didn't bring my briefcase, give you a business card, but I promise I'll get you guys some. I'll get them to Mike or something. But feel free to call me if you have any more questions or anything. Feel free to call me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is the approval of resolution 2025-40. I think this resolution amends the resolution that we approved back in July.
That's correct.
And Greg, I guess I'm going to ask, why do we need to amend that prior resolution?
Yeah, and before I answer that, maybe we should have the awesome news that John has for us about the Ronald Reagan Park project.
Sure.
And so that would be a lead-in, and then we can go into exactly what we're doing in this resolution. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
We opened bids this morning on that phase 1B, which is the one we're talking about from 750 up to 1,000. Our engineer's estimate was just under 42 million. Bids came in, the low bid was 23,723,000.
And it's done?
No, that's the bids.
Oh, okay, it's a
Yeah,
bid, okay.
yeah.
Was it a good bid?
Yes, all the bids, we had 6 bidders and they were all under 27 million. So it was very favorable bids. Couple areas that were really lower than what our estimate was, and that was common excavation and borrow. So all the dirt work came in 10 million under what our estimate was, that alone.
Hasn't it been excavated already?
No, you're thinking of the one from 600 up to 750. This
I
is the
am.
this is the next phase from
Okay.
750
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So the current phase is actually opens next Monday. We're doing ribbon cutting on Friday, so that one hopefully will open soon. But this is the next piece going north that we're talking to you about financing. So bids were very good. Greg and I have talked. We'd like to put some contingency in there and then put enough in for inspection, for our construction inspection also. But we were very happy. We've looked at the bids. Our engineers are looking at the bids this afternoon. There's no big holes or gaps or anything we left out.
So we're thinking off the top of our heads, subject to check, about 30 million.
About 30 should cover us with contingency and inspection.
Okay. So then this resolution, is there anything else?
No, let's
Okay.
have a question.
This resolution. So there was a county down south that was doing something similar, a road bond, and they got downgraded a notch for the way they were doing their financing. We knew that. We knew why they got downgraded. We also have talked to Standard & Poor's, and there's something called appropriation risk. And so I'm going to take you into Budget 101. Budget 101, you meet in July. Most schools, Judd, you did it. County Council, you've done it before in the past. When you do your budget, you do the budget July, August, September. It doesn't get approved until basically November 1 by you all. It has to be approved. And then the state will approve it when they get the 1782 out, which is sometimes December, sometimes January, sometimes February, and it's even been later than that. So at that point, you've got the risk that if there is no money available to pay the debt, then what happens is you have to automatically put a tax rate on, and your budget's already approved, and it's kind of a little disaster for that 6 months. So we have indicated we've got an agreement by the county council and with Standard & Poor's that what we would do is actually fund our next year's payment, let's say our 26 payment. We will fund the lease rental, basically the redevelopment commission will get the money from income taxes, and we'll fund it on August 1. So the budget, when Ann puts together the budget for this bond issue, she will say, I've got $4 million in the bank, I owe $4 million, I do not need to levy a tax. Remember, this has got a tax backup. The intentions are never to use a tax backup, a property tax backup. It was always to use LIT, or Economic Development Income Tax, but recall, Senate Bill 1 torpedoed that, otherwise we wouldn't be here even doing this. We would be doing basically an Economic Development Income Tax bond for whatever years, okay? So we had to go through the Redevelopment Commission, the Redevelopment Authority, all of these hoops due to Senate Bill 1 and the fact that edit and basically LIT's going away and going to have to be reauthorized. So what this in effect does is say that the county will deposit on August 1, and what we'll do is deposit at time of closing whatever our new debt service is over the next year, and we will deposit that at closing, and then every August 1 thereafter. So when she does the budget process, she can say honestly she does not need any money from property taxes to fund the lease rental. The lease rental affects you all because that's what you use to pay the debt. The Redevelopment Commission does. Okay, so that's the reason why you see August 1 in here employed, and then the fact that we will have the lease rental account, we'll have that in advance and make its June and December payments. So that's simply what it does. And by the way, when we got our rating, we did not get marked down. We got the same AA+, which is outstanding, and that was our number one goal. And we talked about to the county council president and the president of the commissioners, and their expert help during the presentation with S&P, which was online. And Ann, you did an awesome job. That was allowed us to maintain our A+, along with this concept, fixing their concern that something could happen during that 6-month period. Does that make sense? I know budget, but you're very familiar with.
It just sounds to me like we're going to allocate current funds on hand to help with the bill coming. So we're like 6 months ahead of the game.
Yeah. Now, also recall that what we're going to do is we're going to look at the TIF district, and at this point in time, if the TIF district has $100,000, we're going to use that $100,000 first, and we're going to deposit that. And if, the overall goal is, like I said, that's what we did with Mile 1, by the Sears and by the Meyer department store, or Meyer store, whatever we call that anymore. And, and when that explodes due to the new road, then the theory is we would not use any more LIT, we would use total TIF. And remember, we're trying to get this in place by the end of the year, okay? And so that's what this does.
I know hindsight's always 20/20, but this was only 4 months ago. I mean, what's happened since July to cause this change?
S&P has really looked at all the fine print.
So as to help our rating?
Yes.
Okay.
And number two, they looked at all the fine print on flow of funds, and they looked at, by the way, they even, Denny knows this, they went really pretty in-depth in any developer bonds, and so S&P is really working on going behind the scenes even more, so.
Is that because of SB1?
No, it's because there's been, just like in Plainfield defaulted on 2 or 3 payments because there were developer bonds that someone forgot about. And, so, it was alive and well here in Hendricks County, so they've already had that bad taste in their mouth. So that's quite frankly where it's come from.
So we could expect to see similar language going forward on future lease rentals?
If we had any, but that wouldn't be on any developer, it would be on any one you would do for public
Similar to
benefits.
this.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. So I don't want to answer that with a global yes, obviously.
okay. Okay, we've all had a chance to review. First of all, any further questions for Greg about this amendment?
Resolution, is this what we're,
Yes, Resolution 2025-40. I would accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
I so moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. Next item on our agenda is the 2026 TIF spending plan. Mr. Garatos, I think this is you again.
Yes, thank you. And it also goes along with the annual presentation that I'm going to that you guys have a copy of, and we have extra copies if anyone in the audience wants to play along. So I'll go through the presentation first, kind of quickly, and then we'll go to the 2-page required document, which is the spending plan. And this is the annual presentation, and I believe you sent it out to the underlying taxing districts, correct? Perfect. And so this is kind of give you an update. I'm going to go kind of quickly through this. Hopefully we've labeled everything so we can all understand it. I've tried very, very hard. Page 3 has the different allocation areas on it, and I see yours is back to back. So So there's page 3 down here in the corner. Okay, GDI is the first one, 70 and 39. I won't take a lot of time on the map, but our map makers are getting better, and they're starting to look good. And so on page 6, we set forth the estimated revenue from 25 to 29, and then the key document is on page 7, which is the cash flow. And this is the cash flow that we see where we are at this point in time, and we split it out. And then what happens is whenever there's any certain county debt or any certain debt, it's going into the spending plan, and that is the basis for those numbers, okay? And the actual amortization, so in GDI, if you go, we actually have 2 bonds outstanding. We have the revenue bond, actually we have 1 bond outstanding, it just goes for a little time. It's 2 pages. And we have the 2020 debt service. If you recall, this is the developer purchase bond. They're responsible for their portion, if there's not enough money coming in. But at this point in time, as GDI is developing, we believe in 26, we'll be able to fulfill that debt service and still have some extra revenue. Okay? Then on each one of these, for the underlying tax districts, I won't go through each one, but on 10 and 11 and 12, these are the benefits. 10 is the sheer fact that we have personal property, and in any of the, in no TIF district do we collect personal property TIF. And so what this does is it goes to our assessed value and gives everybody a lower tax rate, a little lower tax rate. And there's some circuit breaker impact on 11, which is good. This negative number means they're good. And then by far, what this does on page 12 is provide jobs and provide income. And that is not only the lifeblood right now, but it will definitely be after Senate Bill 1, okay? Because more jobs, more income is what this county and every county is going to have to live on. Okay, next one up is 13 is Sunbeam. On Sunbeam, I'll take you pretty quick to the cash flow. And this is one where ultimately, when we start talking about a fire station or things like that, we will actually go into, in order to maybe make this happen, we probably will go into the revenue funds that are coming to the county, not to the developer, but to the county, and leverage those if we do some form of financing or some form of obligation. Now, the late-breaking news on page 6 is that at this point in time, our final payment is $1,918,000 if you look at this bullet point. And the developer still has the right to draw over $16.4 million, but they only drew what they needed for the first set of improvements. So at this point in time, it is very likely we will be able to make that final payment. And I think it actually lags over. The actual payment is 2/1. And so the schedule was on page 17. 17 was the example schedule, and we only have $1,000,009, and we'll make that final payment in February. So we will, unless they make further draws, we will have some freed up money in the Sunbeam area. So that is one that we can use for infrastructure until they decide to make another draw, or an infrastructure could be both the fire and roundabouts. Okay, the things we've talked about. So that's really, really good news, and it's kind of it's kind of nice that maybe we have a little stopping point on that, because we might be able to use some of the revenue in between. between now and the next phase. So, I'll go ahead and skip to number 21, page 21, Heartland Crossing. The area has expired, and the president of the commission asked me, well, when can we get rid of this? After this year, we won't have this anymore. Okay, and so Heartland Crossing does not have any more money in it, so we will not have to report it on it anymore going forward. And as far as I'm concerned, and you probably won't, you gotta make sure you're not even labeling it TIF in your LAO system. I believe that's, okay, next one, page 24, the Pittsboro area. I am now assured, and I'm on page 25, that the 78,000 doesn't exist anymore.
We
or shortly
did a
will.
road reconstruction project up on 800, and I think we spent, it's not that full amount we spent, really close. I believe that's it, built out.
Okay, so if that's the case, then we'll be able to close this TIF district out again, and we will not, again, you'll want to make sure for the future, it's not flagged TIF. Okay, so when people ask the Redevelopment Commission, do TIF districts ever die? You've got a few good answers. Yes, they do. Okay, Ronald Reagan Parkway, number 27. So page 28 is the cash flow. This is, again, what we just talked about on the bonds. And as you can see, the estimated TIF at this point in time is around 67,000. Not a lot of money, but the answer is the story should get better as time goes on. Keep in mind that Brownsburg did annex part of the development area, and so that is not within the 67, what they already annexed. Okay, next one is West Point, and we'll go right to the cash flow on that. On this one, West Point is the Walmsley area, and as you can see, what we've got is any revenue that's coming in is transferred to pay the developer. And recall that this is the one area of the Walmsley development, not the undeveloped area, okay? That's not been done yet. And so this is the 4 or 5 buildings in the area. And so if you look at amortization schedule on 34, hopefully we'll be able to stay on track here and get out of this debt. And just to remind everybody, someone might say, what is that strange 10,000 out there? Well, that's because during the negotiation process, in the event revenues would discontinue, let's say, anytime here, the TIF district stays alive until 2037 or the last payment. Okay, so it's called breathing room in the event revenues go down, or breathing time. Okay, and by the way, we have our, on page 35, we have our county reimbursement obligation that we're getting repaid too. So, next district is county portion of Sunbeam. So if you recall, there's 2 buildings in Sunbeam area that we set up as the county, a county TIF. So no debt's been issued, nobody has claim to that, and so those buildings are paying, as you see on page 42, the abatements rolling off, so that revenue is coming up. So again, that is number one, revenue that we should have in the bank. We should have some money in the bank in that account, and then we will also have, so this is something we could use also to leverage for our fire and our roundabouts or any infrastructure we want. So, and again, no one has claim to this and no one gets claim at this point in time, the way it's structured. Does that make sense to everybody? There's a couple of buildings here. Okay, so that's it. West Point Business Park number 2, that was on the very back page. That's the other part I told you that at this point in time, there are no collections. So That's the annual presentation. Now, if we go to the required document, which is 2 pages, this is the form, you saw it last year. I told you it was new last year. The state did not change the form or expand the form. I still expect them to. This form is so that they can upload into Gateway and measure really big TIF districts to, to everybody else in small TIF. And they can just they can get in all 92 counties a look at all the different TIF districts and what obligations they have. So, and the spending plan for 2026 requires us to put the bonds, that bond payments, and notice that we did put the 2021 as paid off. That's because we're assuming the money will be there and paying it off in February. And so this is our debt payments, both through the developers and to us. Then the rest of it is put into capital expenditures, operating cost, and some professional fees and things like that. So all total, this totals up to $53,180,000, which was $50 million of it was Johns Road, or we'll call it Johns Road. Ronald Reagan Parkway. And so, we could entertain an amendment that we don't have to, but if we wanted to, we could probably pull that down to 30 million and adjust it if you so see fit, and we would make it 33,180,920.
Would that look better to Standard & Poor's?
It doesn't, they won't see this, it's to the state of Indiana.
Okay.
And actually, Standard & Poor's is gonna say, oh my gosh, our fee goes down. And we're gonna say, yeah, and your risk went, or the bondholders' risk went down. So, if you see fit, you can instruct me to change it. We'll change it and we'll get you a new copy. And it's probably makes sense since we now know the number, or reasonably close to it. Again, this is an estimate, okay? So, questions on presentation or the spending plan?
Seems pretty general for over $50 million. State document.
Yeah. It generally is. Yeah, I believe, Judd, there is a requirement, since your RDC owns the roads, that now you'll have to go out and tell John at 4 o'clock in the morning, you'll have to drive the roads and tell him whether you want that road plowed as owner of those roads, as the redevelopment commissioner.
Then I'll tell you when to maintain the bridges that you have. It'll be a trade-off.
I think we'll delegate that to you.
Well, I know how you like to do that at the school.
Again, we'll delegate that to you.
Thank you. Anything else?
So do you need this approved?
Again, if you want to make an amendment, ask us to amend the 50 down to 30. That would be proper motion number 1.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we reduce that number from 50 million to 30 million.
And that's in section E.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend the $50 million amount to $30 million in section E. Is there a second?
I'll second, but I wonder if you could explain really fast why it goes from 53 to 33 or whatever it is.
Sure. It's because John's bids came in that much better.
Okay, all right. So
Or the county's bids.
we're changing this to
50 million to 30 million.
30, okay.
And you feel comfortable with the bids, or they're all good bids?
Yes.
And
We're reviewing them now. The commissioners accepted it this morning as a conditional bid. We're still reviewing the documents, make sure the gallery insurance and all the bonds and everything in the right place.
okay, we just reduce that by 20 million. Is there 20 million somewhere else we want to reduce? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0.
Perfect.
So
So
we'll
then,
amend that and get it.
yes, and the next motion would be then to approve the spending plan subject to that amendment, and then the auditor will upload it and we'll upload it.
Okay. I will accept a motion to approve the amended 2026 TIF spending plan.
I so move.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. That's all I have at this point.
And last thing on our agenda is an update about construction on a proposed roundabout. And I'm not sure who is going to handle that.
Is that referring to the ones on 39 and 70 we were talking about?
Because that's the only ones they
Okay,
have
all right.
overdue.
There's 3 roundabouts down there that we're proposing, that we're under design on. One is south of 70 at Gateway Drive. One is just north of 70 at a relocated Coger Boulevard, 1000 South intersection. And one is at West Point and Innovation Boulevard where they come in. They're currently under design. We've met with the state on a couple of occasions to see what their involvement wants to be. Second meeting we had was a little more hopeful than the first one, but they are looking for cost sharing, and they asked us, what are you and the developers gonna put in? So we're working right now to set up a meeting, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, with the developers to see what they're gonna put in, and then go back to the state. What the state contributes, there's a lot of things up in the air with that, depending on what pot they can pull it from. It might have to be put out there in their normal programming year, which would be 5 years out, and nobody really wants to wait that long. So the last meeting we had with them, they seemed a little more optimistic that it was money they could pull from somewhere else, would be tied to their normal review processes, their normal timeframe. But we don't know yet until we go back and sit down with them. But the developers, at least 2 of the 3 we're dealing with, are, I think, willing to contribute something. We don't know what that looks like yet. I have dates from one of the developers. I'm gonna try to set it around those dates.
So ultimately, when we move into 2026, depending on how this develops and this develops, that'll be competing for the dollars. So we gotta keep up on the redevelopment, would want to be aware of what's going on here and here, and before we put together the ultimate plan. So,
Has anybody been, besides me, been stuck down at 144 and 69, trying to get through those at rush hour? Go down there at rush hour sometime. Those are too close to the interstate.
There's one on either side of the
Yeah,
overpass there.
and you can get stuck a half a mile down 69 trying to get off.
Those are fairly narrow though, I think. It seems to be
They
driving
they are very narrow.
Single lane.
Yeah, it's-
These will be wider than that. I don't anticipate that much.
No, okay. I just,
I don't know.
if you're stuck on 69 with all that traffic coming at you, and you're the last one in line, you get kind of nervous. And I mean nervous.
Traffic coming down 39 shouldn't be moving that fast, so it's.
Yeah, but you're also talking about people from, you're also talking about people coming off of 70 and kind of merging into them, right?
Yeah, but they're pretty well away from that merge zone, I think.
Okay,
They're gonna be
okay.
far enough away from that merge zone, I don't think that's.
Okay. That's a headache down there, and I
That's
don't
one
want a
of the
headache.
reasons, like the northern one there at the truck stop, we're moved there, NDOT wants to shift it 300 feet further north, and that's one of the reasons. to
Okay,
get it away from
okay.
the merge.
All right.
And the one down south will relocate Greencastle Road.
Yeah, it's going down there by Gateway Drive, which is, that's far enough south, I believe. So, all right, thank you.
Please remember that these roundabouts were mandated, I'll use the word, by NDOT. So if it was our planning, we probably wouldn't be doing this, but.
They won't
have-
say in honor of Denny Dawes.
Yeah, right. No.
Any other items we need to discuss today? I would anticipate no meetings in December, but we will probably have to meet in January at a minimum to reorganize. Do you want to set a date for January?
So this will be the last one for this year?
Looks like it, unless we.
yeah, I don't think we'll,
We won't have.
yeah, because we're all ready to go on the bond, subject to the county council on Tuesday. And so that's done, and then, it'll take us a little time to put, the overall plan together.
Try to get a day where there's no snow and,
Well, right now, I don't see any snow on January 14th or 21st.
okay, cool.
Like, you're gonna be in Miami or something?
When would the commissioners meet in January, Danny?
We meet in January on the 13th. We meet on Tuesdays typically, and the 27th.
I was just thinking if, and maybe I'm probably thinking too rapidly on this, if there's anything going on with the fire, district, do we need to wait till later in the month, or?
No,
Yeah.
Well, in some of these positions, I think all of our positions actually will have to be reappointed
yeah.
sometime in 2026. We probably shouldn't, can we meet before we get appointed, or?
I don't think you should.
Yeah, I agree.
So maybe
The
we
first
could,
council meeting is on the 20th. First commissioners is on the 13th, so those will be the 2 times that they're appointed.
so do we just,
We've already made some appointments already for next year, and we'll be doing the rest at the 13th meeting.
So what about the 28th?
I'd say 28th would be fine.
Yeah, let's do that.
January 28th?
So let the minutes reflect that we've set a meeting for January 28th, 2026, 3:00 p.m.
Great.
If it's an early morning snow, John will have it all plowed.
That's an hour early.
By 3:00.
No further business. I hereby adjourn this meeting.
Have a nice Thanksgiving to each of you.
You too, thank you.
And I'll say Merry Christmas.
Nothing to celebrate.
If I met, I want to thank you for all your work.
What's your name again, David?
Dave,
Yeah, I know your name. Well, nice to meet you, Linda Watson.
Mike Edmondson, David, nice to meet you, sir.
You got business to
I'm in my second term.
Due diligence
County.
call.
Okay, great.
As
Glad you came.
I'm Mike Edmondson.
Glad you introduced yourself.
Yeah, good to meet you,
It's been a
sir.
long time since I was on the
Thank
council.
Written out by any.
Everything has to work together.
John Leesman better
That's
than
true.
Federal
Got Wood
government.
County.